We're going to call the meeting to order at 6:04. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of February 1st, 2016.
All of
Herb moved them.
it. Okay, thank you, Herb. Thanks, Rob.
Okay, this is the way it's going to go. Okay. Is there any discussion?
One abstention.
We haven't voted yet.
Are you really gonna do this?
All those in favor of approving the minutes as written signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
One
Herb?
and one, that equals out. You're gonna break the,
You didn't hear me the first?
I didn't say, did you say yes? Okay, then yes, I'll vote in the affirmative. Motion passes. Oh, I'm going home. It's time to adjourn at 6:05.
oh, that's not debatable.
Good. I'm glad it's not. Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I'd like to do an executive session to discuss personnel issues. I don't know what your numbers are for that,
We'll get there.
but I'd like to invite the highway foreman to join us, but I don't know if he's gonna be here tonight or not, so if he shows up, we'll invite him to join us. If not, we need to have the discussion.
Okay, I need to add under old business, the Army survey for Dam Road. Not the Dam
Yeah,
Road,
yeah.
for Dam Road.
Oh, damn road.
And so it goes.
There's
Okay.
Joe.
Any other additions or deletions? Okay, then, highway, since the highway foreman isn't here, there are some things I'd still like to go ahead and discuss. One of the items that came out of the last meeting we had with the highway foreman was the fact that we had an employee issue that we needed to be updated on what procedures and what guidelines were given to the employee, and we were supposed to be reported back to, so we knew what the expectation was. And we have not heard yet what the consequences of that meeting were. I think we need to make sure that that gets remembered.
Yeah, I mean, that, tonight's executive that I requested is gonna be discussing
Okay?
issues around that same employee and
Okay.
interactions with the public.
Okay. Then we have the highway financial and mileage certificates. Do we actually have one, or is that something Curve was?
We had that last time, and we put it up to this time because we had a short quorum last time. So let me see if I can find it. I just got it out just a second ago. There we go. I don't think the financials are done, but I think the mileage certificate is there.
I don't know what
Is
I'm
that the
looking.
same mileage as last year?
Same mileage as last year. Yep. I'll let Irv review that, I guess, for a minute. Actually, I did have that Army on next, third one down, highway.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you had it in highway.
Well,
Well, so
yeah,
then we'll-
just for
we'll-
some reason, I
Then
don't
we'll
know.
take it out.
Just as a
out from
place to
old
put it.
business.
And Kurt's here.
Okay. Good.
Good evening. Warming up, isn't it? Warming up?
It's kind of a desert heat instead of a tropical heat out here.
So Kurt's here, we can begin the highway report from him, correct?
If you'd like to, and just come back and pick up the mileage certificate.
Yeah.
All right, so since you're here now, Kurt, do you have a report for us?
Really don't have much going on. We've had a ton of little storms, pain in the neck. I did have to order sand the other day. Our salt strip is probably 4 or 5 more storms. I don't have a lot. We've just been trying to plow these little storms off, save as much sand as we can, and all the equipment's in good shape right now, no problems.
Then I'll go back to something I mentioned earlier. The last time you spoke to us, we gave you kind of a directive to have a discussion with one of the employees.
Yes.
Can you update us on what that was, or would you prefer to do that in?
Oh, no, there's no problem. I discussed it with him and told him and tried to not lay down the law, but set boundaries for him, and he agreed with me. We'll see how long it lasts, and if I have to remind him in the future, I'll have to remind him in the future, but it was not a problem.
Okay.
It really went a lot better than I thought.
All right, so there was no guideline that, in other words, 30 days probation, anything along
I
those lines?
did not, no, remember we discussed, and if the volume got turned up, remember the whole thing, and if there was a big problem, I was gonna come back to you guys, we were gonna write a letter and put everything, but it went really well.
When did you talk to him?
The next day,
The next day?
yeah, the next day, right in the morning.
Give me a date on that, okay?
It wasn't the last
January
week.
18th was the meeting, so it'd been the 19th.
19th, yep. Yeah,
Because you weren't here at the last meeting on the 1st, so we're 4 weeks in.
yep, we went, meeting by ourselves to the side, and everything went well.
Okay, good. Then, Irvin, you done with the highway mileage?
That's the same mileage as last year, right?
Exists, yep, same mileage, yep. It's a different format this year.
Yeah, I see the form's different.
Yep, but,
One thing before I forget it. You wanna check them vent on your heaters up at the garage? They're building up with ice, and if they don't, they may put your propane fumes back into the shop.
oh, is it really? Oh, never noticed it.
I don't, you know, the outside vents there on the back.
Yeah, there's one vent for the propane heater, and then the other one's for the.
Yeah, there's some buildup of ice on them, and I'd hate to have you guys all getting sick or some damn thing, because.
The ice usually breaks off, but if it doesn't, it just
Okay.
comes back into the building.
All right, I can only go one place at a time, I'm having a hard time.
No, I'm sorry.
We were talking about when you walked in, the mileage certificate.
Yes.
If everybody's okay with that, I would entertain a motion to sign it.
So,
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on it? Hearing none, all those in favor of signing the mileage certificate signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Okay, now, who's T/C/V clerk? T/C/V. Okay, since nobody knows who that is,
Town clerk / no,
No,
no, select board.
no, not select board.
no, because the select board's
Yeah.
got, I don't know which way you want to go that way.
Okay, well, that's no difference.
We'll let you sign this clerk, how's that?
Sounds good.
Well, while we're here, I have a couple of questions about the, I don't know where to start first. Okay, let's start with the culvert inventory. And one of the things that in the inventory you gave us has come to our attention is the fact that the culverts that were designated were on the map back here in 2012. Only about 3 of those are reported as being done in 2015. Is there a reason that the culverts being replaced aren't matching up with the ones that were prioritized? The map fell down, or AA took it down, but there is a list here of the culverts and how they were prioritized in 2012. And looking at what we have from you and the dates done, it only appears that 3 of them that were identified have actually been done. And I'm just curious as to why.
I don't follow it.
Come up here, so I can show you.
Let's get the map.
3 of them that were
Okay, these are the ones that were identified in 2012, the culverts. Okay, and these are the ones that you say you are reported done on your sheets. And if you look across, you know, that one's been done. But you look across all the others that were identified as needing to be done, and there's only 3 of them like this that have actually happened. Yeah, and I'm just curious, you know, was it determined that the ones they identified were actually not the priority, or,
I mean, the ones I had on the list to do.
well, whatever this list was done.
Yeah, the critical ones should be the first ones.
Let's just back up a second. This is a bridge and culverts inventory from April 2012.
Yes.
David marked the beaver deceivers, culverts needing replacement or larger size are marked in red. And these are the culvert numbers that appear on that sheet there.
Right. A lot of the culverts that we did do, that I had marked on here. Grafton Road reported done. They were all done because of paving and stuff. If the culvert was not, if they're in bad condition, which I had on the old report, poor shape, if they weren't failed, I did not do them unless they were failing, because I did prioritize them, need to be done for jobs coming up, or ones that had failed, or ones that were giving us a problem right then. 4 culverts are not failed culverts, we're taken care of, but poor culverts and bad shape culverts, only if they failed, got it taken care of, or we're in the process of failing at the time.
So what you're telling me is that because there was work being done around the culverts that you replaced, you went ahead and did those?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We just didn't arbitrarily replace culverts. Right?
What do you call failed?
Culverts that gave us problem that spring or that winter or that
And
fall.
what about the bottom being gone?
There's still culverts where the bottoms are gone that we have not replaced yet, that I have a list for.
I know, you've got one that,
I have more than one.
that you was told about before you got your backhoe, it's never been fixed.
Which one was that?
One right to the bottom of the dip before you get to the state forest, going from, Ball Mountain Campground. As you start up, there's a 3-foot pipe right there, the bottom's been gone, since before the town owned its backhoe.
So,
That's it.
do you still
I
have?
mean, that, as far as I'm concerned, when the bottom's gone out like that, that should be a critical replacement.
Do you still have the list from 2012 of the ones that were identified in that, for that
I
map?
should have in the drive somewhere, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, otherwise you could
I
get,
have some on my computer, it's, 13, 14, stuff like that, so I could probably add them all together and.
okay, because I would say you take a copy of this if it would help.
I know what color you're talking about, but.
All right, and then let's go back to where I was here. Where's the culverts? One of the things that we're going to talk about, I feel like I should just probably just go home. That's gonna make it easier.
No.
I don't know, all my papers are gone. There it is, it's over here. One of the questions we have on one of the bills, or 2 questions actually. We have the Atlantic Broom bill.
Yes.
Now, they keep sending us second notices. And are we supposed to pay that or not? Where are we with those signs?
I talked to that, we started replacing the sign, I've gone over the list, I just wanna make sure everything, because we have to give her back the old aluminum. And I told the lady, we had to wait so long, and this is not the greatest time of the year for us, we only got them, a month ago. And, but we told her we're not gonna pay her until we get everything straightened out our end. We're not the one that messed up, they're the ones that messed up. And I'll call Jack Davis, he's our salesman, and If you're getting second notices, because
They keep sending
as
us,
soon as those signs came that day, excuse me, as soon as those signs came that day, I called that woman up to talk to her, because I have called them so many times to get those signs. And if they want to put pressure on us like that, that is absolutely ridiculous.
It was on a warrant at the last meeting. I did it separately because you said we weren't,
And
this was gonna be a washout. So we didn't pay it, but then another notice came in. So it's on a separate all by itself.
Because I think I talked to you
Kickback.
shortly after we got the signs about that. 'Cause-
right. But because we're now sending second notices,
Well,
it's
I'll
just a
call,
matter of.
I'll make
trying to
sure
figure
Jack
out-
Davis hears about it tomorrow.
Okay, and then the things going on with the Freightliner, who do I want to say?
Okay, fair.
Patriot, thank you. On the truck that had fire.
Truck had the fire, the light problems again?
Yeah,
Did you get another?
we're still getting bills on that.
I told those people before they even worked on it.
We're still getting bills.
You don't have the number of that bill right there, so I don't.
Yeah, we do.
It's for the lights and the differential light.
Actually, this is with the bill.
And then while he's digging that out, one of the issues that we have tonight, on one of the bills is one of the Napa bills. And it was for some hose that Ed ordered, 50 feet of hose.
Yes.
Well, a couple of things. Number one, why did that go through straight to Napa and not come through the purchase order system? It was well over $100, it was almost
How much?
almost 400.
$400.
It was $384.50.
Anything goes to the purchase orders?
Anything over 100, we should have some competitive bids, because again, what we called Sunil to find out if they had the hose and what it would cost.
They do have those.
$252 as opposed to $384. It's a huge difference. So, again,
Got 100 and,
Why don't we write down that we just don't have Ed doing many order things, please? So that way we can eliminate these types of situations. Because it seems to me that a lot of these mess ups and mishaps aren't by you so much, it's by Ed. And as far as like following this purchase order number, it would be pretty neat. I mean, it seems, we understand that you have, but we're not understanding that he has.
I think a lot of what
And that's why we're bringing it up to you.
a lot of what we're getting back are, the item is filled out on the book, but there's no prices. So it's not like anybody's actually gone and found out, like on that hose, almost $400 for the hose. It would have been fairly easy to pick up the phone and call a couple of people to find out what it would cost.
well, and that begs my question,
Because I do have Ed order stuff, because he sees, he writes down the purchase order. Little stuff right there. 'Cause
well, Craig has given us a little comparison sheet. And so I wonder why we deal with Napa. And these are just numbers of parts that you ordered, the part number, so I won't identify the part necessarily. But we bought a part from Napa for $16.49. You can buy it from Gates for $12.57. There's another part for $11.18 that you could buy from Gates for $6.74. There's another one, and it goes on and on. There's one for $24.99 that you can buy for $17.
You say Gates, that's online?
That's online.
And it, anyhow, it goes down through here, and it's well over $100 in less than a month savings in ordering, in not using Napa. I mean, Napa's almost, it's like 30% higher than any of these others. And I think that in a year's time, there's a big savings.
I do not, I'll be honest with you, I call local vendors, I do not go online and find prices.
Yeah,
Because when I want a part, I want it, the next day or whatever. I do not go online for pricing. I do call Napa, Bond, Sunel, and sometimes I even call Twin State to get their prices, like on the batteries when I bought for and stuff.
but again, I don't like a nickel dime.
Yeah, I know, but I see-
understand that, but
I see your point, it does add up.
A nickel dime
Right.
over a year's period of time, so
Right.
you might want to review how that's happening, that's all.
That's an but it shows up when you bill for this month, right? And we're not paying.
No, don't pay that.
No.
But like, I told them, I told you guys.
But it's still,
meeting, remember I told you about this?
yeah, it's still riding on this invoice here.
Okay, then the only other thing that we had under highway on the agenda was the temporary easement for the Army Corps for the dam. Have you heard anything at all from them?
Not from the Army Corps, no. And what I got from Jess Rizzio at Beck Engineering, I did forward to you and stuff, but I had not heard anything from anybody on that.
And I did call 2 places on that for survey work, and one of them is yet to get back, and I'm assuming it's because of the holiday. One of them did get back saying he wouldn't be able to do it.
He would not?
Bill Kramer, Dowshy Kramer. Well, not, they're jammed for time, and he declined to take that on, but I've also talked to SVE, Southern Vermont Engineering, but they've changed their name somehow. But anyway, and they're supposedly putting a number together for me. He was gonna talk to Jess Rizio,
Yes.
just to get the parameters of it, and he was supposed to come out last week when the weather was good, knowing that this week was gonna be cold. Or not so good, but anyway, he was supposed to, just to give us an estimate on what it's gonna cost.
Well, I
So
thought
we can
this was
approve.
all done with that flood when we asked for that
That's
easement.
what it is about, ain't it?
We got a temporary
That should
easement.
have been all, the
Cut
meets
that
and
all
bounds
loose,
should have been
right.
all done, am I right? When
Right.
David was on. So we should have a copy of that somewhere.
It wasn't done.
I read what Jess, and for the temporary thing, I don't know if it doesn't say that survey was done in the copy of that paper.
There was paperwork that came through.
For the easement.
After the temporary was done, saying that it needed to be permanent. David was gonna bring it to a meeting in February, March of 20, I'm gonna say 12. And something came up, like hiring a reappraiser. It was an interesting year, but anyway, it was an interesting spring, so it didn't get into that meeting, and then it slipped through the cracks.
We never did
And
the
for 2
final
years, it
survey.
didn't get followed up. The Army Corps didn't press the issue, and that email that Jess got, that she forwarded to you and forwarded to me, that says somebody from the Army Corps has been trying to get a hold of David, that hasn't been happening. In any case, they've given us until March to get it done. I called 2 surveyors, asking for, put a number on the table, we'll take care of it kind of thing, and Dowshy and Kramer called back, said they didn't have time to do it, even though it should be fairly straightforward and easy.
I
They're-
thought we
they're
had to
busy
do
with it.
that before we even got the
We did the-
temporary one.
No, we got the temporary one, that
Yeah,
was
but didn't we
okay.
have the survey and the meets and bounds in order to get the temporary easement? I thought we had to do that with the Army Corps.
Right, but the permanent one is gonna be a little different,
That's-
depending on where Basin put the head wall or something.
Right.
I suggest you discontinue the road, then they can own it.
Well,
I remember getting the temporary one, and
They get a class 4.
and we also got, then when we got the temporary one, we also had to get an easement to go across property bounds and get core bores from there and stuff.
right.
But not the permanent one.
Boy,
No.
see, I know we did that. meets
And I think the
bounds.
woman's name was Maureen, because I remember talking to Maureen about something
With the Army Corps.
with the Army Corps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but that was as far as I ever had to do, because Beck,
I know.
when Beck gave us the information, I guess we never followed up.
See, we should have, instead of rebuilding the covered bridge, should have put a permanent bridge across there the automobiles could use, and then you could discontinue the dam road.
Well, it still doesn't change the fact that the Army Corps has given us a month to get a survey done and to get it in there. And then I will point out again,
Well-
whose name is on the top of that document.
Well-
I will point that out as well.
It's not mine, so.
That's right, it's not yours.
I mean, I'm not sure what the penalties are.
You come visit me in jail. So yeah, we do need to get somebody who can go out there and then tell the Army exactly where the head walls ended up and exactly.
And we should have had a number on the table tonight. We do have 2 estimates on the table tonight that did come in today, even though it's a holiday, but that one did not. So I'm assuming it will come through. I don't think it's gonna be that much, but it's gonna be a lot, because we can't charge it to FEMA now.
But the boundaries there, are unreal.
Oh, I'm sure.
But there used to be a boundary right in front of Al's house, right in the road.
Really?
Yeah, that was part of, remember, Kurt remembers when that flood was happening, when we done that original meets and bounds and easements, that it was, even in the land records, was a wicked mess.
Yeah, but that in the road has been gone a long time because they put it right square in the goddamn travel bush.
Yeah, well,
Well, when
That
we
was
go
good.
to jail, you
Yeah.
come visit.
I will, I'll bring you a file,
Thank
baked
you.
in a cake.
Thank you. Anyway, so did you want to invite Mr.
I do,
Bostrom?
yes.
Okay, then,
I would make a
nah,
motion.
you gotta do it right.
All right, you do it.
I will
Right.
entertain a motion to find that discussion of personnel issues with the The select board at a disadvantage if it were to be held in public. That was the motion. I would entertain that motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes. Now, I will entertain a motion to move into executive session to discuss employee evaluation and invite Mr. Bostrom to come with us.
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes.
One
The-
VSA.
Oh, I'm sorry, I should have read the number.
That's all right.
1 VSA, section 313A3.
And we're gonna do it at, that's 6:30, that's pretty quick.
Analyze, it shouldn't take. So we're gonna go ahead and call it back, Rob, we'll be here in a minute.
Return to that.
Yeah, 7:44.
6:20,
Oh gosh, it is
6:43.
only 6:44. Cool. As a result, I'll let Kit spiel it out, because he just did it.
I did. As a result of executive session, the highway foreman will address the issue at hand with the specific employee and report back to the board any resolutions.
Okay. So then, wherever the bills managed to end up,
Did you have everything done?
we haven't
No.
done those.
I came back just.
You did, just in time to read.
Make a motion to pay check warrant report number 02151, payroll in the amount of $9,406.13.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying payroll warrant 02151, which is payroll in the amount of $9,406.13, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant report number 92100.
0215.
Bring that back. Make a motion to pay check warrant report 02150.
No zero, just two.
That's, I already got it.
Yeah,
That's number
there's
2.
something going on there.
Number 2.
Taxes in the amount of $3,757.66.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying withholding warrants 02152 in the amount of $3,757.66, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 02153 in the amount,
General fund, right?
Yes.
in the amount of $12,311.61.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant 02153 in the amount of $12,311.61, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 02154, general fund, in the amount of $155.31.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant 02154 in the amount of $155.31, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant report 02155, highway, in the amount of $8,043.82.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying highway warrant 02155 in the amount of $8,043.82, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Did you vote, Kit?
I did not.
He's thinking on it.
There was something there that I wanted.
Okay, the motion passes. Well, the two that we were
Yeah,
talking
no,
about are
but
those
there
two.
was something else in that other one that
Oh,
was
okay.
gonna question me. So,
All right, go ahead.
Make a motion to pay check warrant report number 02156, Highway Department, in the amount of $3,630.
Is there a second?
Second,
Is there any discussion?
this is the one that we ought not pay,
Road signs.
because we're supposed to be getting credit. It's the road signs. And Bill doesn't give us credit for the return ones and who's wrong, and I believe that Clerk is gonna address that further with the company. So I would urge you to vote against this.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying highway warrant 02156 in the amount of $3,630 signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? The motion is defeated.
Make a motion to pay check warrant report 02157, Equipment Fund, in the amount of $2,785.11.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
This is also the one that had the hydraulic hoses and the Napa, the difference in where we could buy stuff that we already discussed with Kirk. And we in fact did order it from Napa, so I suppose we have to pay the bill.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying equipment warrant 02157 in the amount of $2,785.11 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant report 02158, General Fund, in the amount of $523.26.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion?
What was that one? Can I just?
That was a propane bill in WW's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant 02158 in the amount of $523.26 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes. So just for general information, the total amount that was submitted for warrants was $29,612.90 this evening, but that would be less $36.30 for the road signs,
So about 26 even.
about 26 even. Yep. All right. Moving on, law enforcement.
Let's move back. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah.
Where we going
Well,
back?
you finished highway, went to executive, and then you went to warrants, leaving out law enforcement, town clerk, and treasurer. So,
We're gonna
let's
do
move
it
in.
now.
Yeah, okay. Get it now.
What time is it?
Early.
Going on 10 now.
All right, back to law enforcement. I don't believe there was anything that came in other than bills.
Just the bill, and the bill is not descriptive of what they do. It's
So-
just hourly rates.
No, I'm gonna make a note of that when we get down here.
Is the hourly rates or the portion? I think it's the portion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 1,500 something, I think.
It's the, I'll let you look at it, because you didn't have time.
You definitely
I
see
did
them around.
reckon, I was thinking that it's proportion, not hourly, not that it's gonna matter particularly, but, because didn't we ask before that they could give us a
Yeah.
specific,
Yeah.
if we request, they will give us a specific rundown? Or specific,
Why is it on
that's all right, you don't have to, I mean,
there?
I just,
Yeah, right here. Huh. Oh, I'll find it.
All right, town clerk.
Town clerk, you all should have had, town monies in your piles, in your papers. Okay, town treasurer.
Yeah, you're gonna have just about the same amount as you had last one.
Cool. Net zero, huh?
No, after you deduct.
Oh, after
After you deduct, you're gonna have about 850, 860, listen to how much you spent. And I do have more to win. Had a good day Friday.
Yeah, the schools are coming up again, just for
Yeah.
all our own information.
About, what is it?
18th, and then taxes are due, good enough to pay the schools before taxes?
Yes, we could. But, no, you don't pay the school till March.
20 days after
Oh,
taxes.
that's right, yeah.
And it's gonna be about the 18th or 19th that we pay them, but, yeah, we got enough right now. We can pay them right now if we had to.
But we don't want to.
No, we don't need to.
Oh, right, so
But
then,
one thing I do wanna find out, Greg's saying we're supposed to get eight grand or something for a free appraisal. As it come in, how much longer you wanna hang on to that money for you, that's in the general fund before we put it somewhere? It's what, 90-something thousand?
Yeah, it's about 100,000. The board signed a piece of paper in instruction to the treasurer when that reappraisal funding came in from the state because they charge us whatever. It was gonna push us up to 107, 108 in that fund to get it out of the general fund and into a special CD or whatever, just so that when he gives a report and says you got 800,000, you don't have to deduct 100 to realize that some of it's locked up. We'll see if we can find out this week. I mean, I left a note for Terry if she saw the ACH come in to let me know. But I haven't seen it come in yet. And we'll check on it this week.
what, does that work on a fiscal year? Because you filed that
Yeah,
in
we
the
were
fall.
supposed to, yeah, they were staggered. We were gonna get this in November, we we're gonna get that in December. Something was gonna come through sometime this winter, so I'll have to see if I can relocate that schedule. And,
So what do you wanna do with that money when we do?
when it does come in.
I'm assuming we're gonna put it to a CD, nothing's paying.
Split it up amongst us.
Okay, that works too.
What do you want, it, 6
Payroll.
months?
Got one to me.
6 months?
No,
Yeah,
well, you can always take it down. I'm thinking.
We're not gonna be up for reappraisal for quite a while. I mean, I can't see keeping it too handy.
Well, but you can renew it on an annual basis when you got new money coming in.
Yeah, we could add to it.
Right, so in other words, if you did
We
it,
could do it for 3 months.
well, I think you could do it for
you're
a
talking
year.
a year, right?
Yeah, if you set for a year and then plan to roll it over, or hopefully the timing would be right, that you could roll it over with the new money. But you would know what the new money was anyway. Didn't they tell us?
How much is coming in?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 8,900.
So even if you didn't hit the window for the rollover on the CD, you could still go ahead and move the funds, just in anticipation.
We'll find out this week. Hopefully you can put the whole thing aside and we have a nice neat number. If not, then I would also advocate, as he's advocating, that we just go ahead and start a CD. Add to it when we have to,
All right, since there are no members of the public,
Can we just back up law enforcement, just to clarify that that is an hourly rate in hourly printout, how many hours they've spent in Townshend? Not activity specific, but how many hours? So I stand corrected, I thought it was important when it is by the hour.
okay? Then moving on to correspondence. The select board received a letter from Henry Pinckney on Depot Road, and the first part of this request is, he says, can I get 2 blind person signs ahead, slowed down and put in the ground by someone? I have asked the post office to return all my mail as I am blind. What can I do about all of this mold in my trailer? No help from the Council on Aging or Health Department of town. I did make mention of this to Governor and Bernie Sanders. Something must be done. I tried reaching the brat reformer. I am 99% blind now, which in and of itself is difficult to answer. But because of the tone of this particular letter, it was in fact,
forwarded.
yeah,
That's not the right word for it.
that was the previous one, right? Or is that the newest one? Well, that's the 130. Then there was another letter that came in. to the health department. And it says, I need my trailer checked for mold. Now I have breathing issues, sneezing, coughing. If I place my head on a pillow, my head wants to explode. Dampness here for years. Floors rotted. Action needed ASAP.
That's to the health department, that letter.
Boxes in, is it?
Boxes, it looks like boxes in.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
We couldn't quite decipher the
But
meaning
that
of
would-
that, meaning of that line, but I think it is boxes.
But that was then forwarded on to Dr. Schaefer, who is our health officer, because of the tone of the letter and the complaints about the health issues. Dr. Schaefer did speak to Mr. Pinckney and proceeded to write this letter to the Board of Health about the complaint. It says, Craig Hunt delivered to me the letter dated 2/2/2016 from Mr. Pinckney, addressed to the Townshend Health Department and received on February 9th, 2016. In that letter, he expressed that his trailer had mold and was giving him health problems, including sneezing, coughing, and headache. He noted the floors were rotted and he had long-standing problems with dampness. I spoke to him at 6 p.m. this evening. He confirmed that he owns his trailer. I informed him that the jurisdiction and responsibilities of the Board of Health do not extend to privately owned and occupied dwellings such as his. As property owner, it is his responsibility to contact a contractor or other professional to evaluate and rectify any problems. After a brief discussion, he indicated good understanding and that he would seek appropriate attention for the problems. Respectfully yours, Dr. Timothy Schaefer. So hopefully at this point in time, the issue with the trailer and the mold is done, but I think we still have the piece about the signs to deal with. Now, one of the things that did come to my attention was the 2 signs on Route 35
That's what I was gonna say, there's 2 signs up there.
were put out, and the individual those signs were for has passed away.
Right.
And I think it would probably be wise to instruct Kirk to find out from the state what would be involved with taking those signs down and placing them
The state didn't put them up, the town put them on.
Yep.
on 35?
Yep,
Wow.
we had a request and we had them put up.
Yeah, that's-
So there are signs.
That's something, yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so we can instruct Kirk
We can,
to move
yes,
them
that's right.
And they could have come down 5 years ago.
down.
well,
But no, that's okay. We have the signs, we can relocate them potentially.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, potentially relocate them, we already own them,
Oh, there's still 2 up there? There's 1 up there anyway. Other 2?
and that.
one each way.
Okay.
Depot's,
Yep.
yeah, the depot's a different class.
Drive by 'em twice a
Anyhow,
day.
so we can just
I don't
install
go, I got blinders on.
We have-
When I'm going,
Yes, it
when I'm
is.
going that way,
So we
I'm
can
talking
just
to myself.
install them,
Yeah.
we don't need the state. See, on 35, you had to have the
Possibly.
Yeah,
state,
that the state, that'd be site
they
distance.
had to be okay, site distance, all of that. But on,
Depot
the
Road.
depot road being the
No,
town
that's-
road,
that's
we
class 3.
we can place those as we see fit.
Yeah.
Right. I believe that's right, they might wanna look at the.
So we do like a copy of the letter.
See if it's been
Clarified, but a copy of the letter to go to the
But
highway.
if it'd been on the grafting.
Please,
With
so
the
they have
clarification.
state rule.
This is the pertinent part,
Right.
this is what,
Please.
pull the old, right, okay,
Okay?
yeah.
And then the other issue, did we, on the other complaint, I don't think we ever brought it forth because the board never met. We didn't have an official complaint. But Dr. Schaefer did take write another letter with regard to another landlord-tenant issue that seems to have taken the entire issue off the Board of Health's plate.
It was mentioned, but it did not rise to the level where the Board of Health needed to do anything at that point, at that previous meeting, and it was being worked in the background by the health officer. And we have a
And
list.
as we stand now, with a
The health
tenant
office.
landlord issue, it doesn't concern the board of health.
It does not concern the Board of Health, and the health officer has followed through with it.
Good.
Hopefully that
All right?
is resolved as well.
Then, again, did they get copies of the potential Knox box? Did you ever
No,
photocopy?
I never did that, because that was just I made up the draft. I just made it up.
I know you just made it up.
Right.
Well, we gotta start somewhere.
Well, it's fine, I can go make copies of it real quick, it's one.
It's
sentence long.
not, it's not gonna, it's not right
Yeah.
now.
That
It's good, that's going to be a policy that, one of the first things for the new board, is we've gotta figure out what the policy's gonna be on these boxes. Because the schools have them up now, and there's nothing in them because we don't have policy.
We still have to get paid by the final.
Really?
I haven't seen it check them in yet. It's been, I waited, I mean, I didn't mail the bill out for quite a while, but it's been 3 weeks. I got it 4 weeks.
What was that about hearings?
Free.
Hearings,
Well,
hearings, hearings?
Yeah, we're not getting into that issue.
Okay.
Not on
Okay.
camera anyway.
Well, we do have to remember those hearings for, that we need to get answers
Oh,
for.
no, yeah, no, I was off.
Still on the sign issue?
No, we're off of the sign issue. We're talking about the Knox box policy.
Hearings and signs.
Well, no, the hearing, never mind. Anyway, so we will postpone that for the new board. They get to deal with that piece of legislation. Land sales update?
All paid. Checks received, checks in the bank. I'm not sure how they've been processed back here as to what they've been allocated to, whether they've been put into the system. But the checks have been received, the closings, the deeds are gone, everybody's happy. On that end, I need to spend a few minutes, figure out how much money we got and how that money's gotta be divvied up and where it goes. But we have been paid for the land sales that you guys did back in July. Finally, the closings took place and we're done.
Yeah.
Still got some bills to pull in from the attorney to find out where we are with that.
We need to know the costs.
And we need to know the costs. Do you want to add into that potential announcement on tax sales coming up?
We certainly could.
Yeah, it's on the 30th.
The 29th. And I just have
No,
to
30th of February.
get to them.
I'll have to.
Don't add extra.
We do have four properties that are going up for,
There are 4 I have copies. Well, you do too.
I've only got 3 copies.
That's because one of them has a staple in it with a picture on it.
Oh, okay, I got 4 copies.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Four pieces that are going up, for tax sale.
And there is a request from the delinquent tax collector.
Yeah, I will get to
too.
that,
Yeah,
give me a minute.
I'm
And one of the issues that is going, or one of the properties is going to be sold is in fact one that's been in bankruptcy off and on now since my tenure began on the board. The informal request from the delinquent tax collector, essentially she wants to know whether or not the select board is interested in buying that piece of property. If in fact, nobody bids on it.
Right,
She's recommending that the board strongly consider.
yeah, because
the
if you
town
don't,
do it.
we're gonna be right back to square one.
She wants the line drawn, so I mean, that she is requesting that the board strongly consider that if nobody bids on that property, that the town take it.
Now, I'm a little bit, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit concerned over the fact that the town then will eat the fees.
Yeah, but if you
No.
go right back into bankruptcy again, and then you're in trouble.
That's
I
right.
was gonna say, I'd almost,
She's precluded, from what I understand, from what the legal document that was filed said, she's precluded from filing again.
That might be for temporary or a time.
No, that's not, I'll have to go get the document, because we had that discussion in the front office.
yeah, but what do we wanna put ourselves in
Wanna
that
make sure
hole?
that
We gotta
you-
worry about that?
Well, I think the one thing
But you're not gonna get any taxes if you don't.
I think we need to purchase it. If there's no other bidders there, we need to purchase it.
Value's about,
Whatever the
40.
cost,
That,
it costs.
no, for, what's it owe us in taxes?
About 40.
about 40.
So you
and the
know,
value is, well, I doubt that's a good appraisal, but nonetheless, the value far exceeds what the delinquent taxes and penalties are.
Oh, yeah, because you take,
and so someone else may buy it, but in
Oh, yeah.
fact, if they don't, let the town purchase it for taxes owed and immediately begin eviction procedures and,
You can't for a year, can you?
no, you got to hang on to it for a year if you
No, but
purchase
you can't even
it.
start the eviction for a year. So they could trash it, we could own it for a year.
Trash it?
and-
What are they gonna do? They could burn it and be better.
Well, that would be
Yeah.
not necessarily bad, but then there goes part of your,
there's smoke coming out of the chimney up there.
cool.
Yeah, they
If the town buys it, can the town buys it, the town can put insurance on it.
Well, the town ought to put insurance on it. We'd like-
If somebody's gonna be living in it.
Same as we ought to anyhow, same as we do any other
Yeah,
building.
just protect their own,
Get your money back.
Yeah. put them
I mean,
up.
we have to protect, we have to protect what it owes us.
Oh, yeah. In case somebody drives into it.
But-
on Friday night.
Also, if they don't redeem it, then the insurance is always, if something did happen to it,
I'm not debating the insurance. I'm just having a real problem.
It says
Us
you willing,
purchasing
you
it?
willing for
Us,
expenses.
basically, to pay Becky, we were already they already owe us $40,000 on the property in back taxes, and we're going to pay the fees and penalties to the delinquent tax collector until such time as we can turn around and unload it.
Yeah, I don't know what the bottom line of
yeah,
the number is.
everything will come to us except her fee.
Yeah, but
Penalties and all that do come right back to us.
Eventually.
I mean,
Eventually.
when we sell it.
it's pretty
When
apparent that
we
we're
sell
not
it,
gonna
all
get any
those
money
fees
out
will
of
come
it.
back to us.
Well, if we can actually sell it for what we have in it, that becomes the problem. If we put it out to bid like we did the other two properties and they don't bid what the 40,000 that we've got in it,
But I think you have to look at the property and see why it was not bid.
If you take
Because
both
it
thirty
becomes
down
a-
the main drive,
It's commercially zoned.
It's a commercial, it's,
no person.
I don't question, I don't think I question the value of the property. I think that for someone to buy that at tax sale, and I'm just speaking for myself, if I were gonna buy it at tax sale, and there are people living in it now, then it would cost me another X number of dollars to have evicted after a year of investing that money. I don't know if I wanna get in the middle of that personal, you know what I mean? So I go, oh, there's people living there, I'm not gonna get involved into that piece. And that's gone on for how many years now?
Well, I think what Kathy's alluding to is that you're short the taxes now. We've paid, I don't know how many thousands in legal fees to get us to the point that we are now. If the town does buy it, then you're gonna be shelling out at least 5 figures, 4 figures, in penalties and whatever to the tax collector. So that's actual cash out of the bank that goes with it. And granted, you'll get that back if you do sell it in a year or two or whenever. And because it's pretty prominent, you will get around it. I mean, I look at Higgins Lane. I was a lister in 2001 looking at that property saying, why do we own this? Joe bought it in 1996. It took us 20 years to get it to this table and get rid of it. 20 years. But we carried that without taxation. And we paid Joe his fees when we bought it. So you can't let these things slip. The 17 acres in West Townsend we've had since 1969 or 68 or before that. So, but Becky did request that the town strongly consider it because it seals the deal somehow or other. It has to be absolutely redeemed at that point. So, and hopefully she'll get some bidders on it because it's,
but if you don't, and nobody bids, then they'll keep right on building tax on it.
well, the mechanics of this would be that you guys kind of decide that and then instruct somebody to be there exactly 2 weeks from today at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's the 29th of February, which is Monday morning. Day before town meeting is when the tax sale is. So the board would want to assign, the board would want to authorize somebody
We
to
need
actually.
to decide that tonight. We don't have another.
Well, you're not going to want to be doing this at the pre-town meeting next week.
That's what I'm saying, we don't have
Right.
another night to.
No, that's just tonight.
I wish I'd had a little more time to.
Although the notices just went out last week, I believe.
No, Wednesday or something. I ran into Becky on Saturday. And she just said, has the board thought about it? I said, not yet. But it's been such a struggle to get it this far and get through that window, the bankruptcy window, to get it to a tax sale. Hopefully it'll be redeemed before tax sale, doubtful, but hopeful. And hopefully there'll be other bidders on it that tie up their money for a year rather than the town.
Yeah, but on the downside of that, we ought to decide as a board tonight on how we want to proceed. And I'm not sure that we can do that in an intelligent way. I'm just thinking, I'd like to do a little bit more investigation, find out if there's any other liens, find out, you know what I mean? I don't think that we can make a safe decision until a little bit more investigation has been done on it.
I can get you copies of that I gave to Kathy with Lister card and that one. These are public notice. Actually, never mind, I can make another one, but if you'd like that one. And these are the 3 public notices and the other ones. I can make more in the morning. There are 4 properties going in for sale.
Yeah, I understand that, but if we purchase this at tax sale, if the town purchases that and there are other liens on it, then we purchase the liabilities along with it.
That should be right, but that should be right up front. I mean, that should be part of the purchase price, is to settle the liens.
Well, I understand that.
No,
but-
not-
Have to look in the
not for
records to
equity.
see.
Yeah, we can't, see, in other
It's
words, I
strictly
could-
delinquent tax then? Okay.
I wouldn't sit here
So if there's a
and say, yeah,
mortgage-
let's buy it, and then find out there's a mortgage and there's other liens and there's, you know, I mean, you're buying a pig in
I
a
wouldn't
poke.
I wouldn't be surprised if somebody isn't leveraged to the hilt on it.
That's what I'm saying, so I don't think that we can make an appropriate or a decision tonight without some investigation on it. I don't know, at least I wouldn't be prepared to do that. I don't know what the rest of you feel like.
Well, you can do it out of session and ratify it. I can't ratify it.
Can't
on
ratify
Tuesday at
it.
Town meeting. No, you can't.
Can't ratify it. It'd be a new board ratifying it.
Well, the alternative to that is, if this goes up for tax sale on the 29th and no one bids on it, then it can be put on tax sale again. Right?
I think,
Yeah, it just increases your expenses.
I understand that, but I wouldn't be willing to sit here and say, okay, let's buy it until I know
She's been trying to get,
what the hell we're
Yeah, I
buying,
didn't
right?
know that in the
been
record.
trying to get it to tax sale
Any
for
liens
3
are
years.
gonna be that.
I know, but we don't have that information right now.
No, I realize that.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll see what we can find
But
out.
could
Still
we
got 2
follow-
weeks, you guys can make a decision, it's not a big deal.
We could, somebody look that up, and we could, I suppose, if we had to, have a special meeting to make sure that, well, if it isn't any.
There may be a few things you want to roll into a
Yeah,
special
I
meeting
think we
before
need to
you
look
vote.
at that a little closer.
okay. All right, then town meeting lunch. The fire department has graciously offered to pay for and set up the town meeting lunch this year. I want to make sure that everybody's aware of the fact that I hope they're going to be asking for donations.
Supposed to.
They're supposed to, okay.
So we will talk to
So
the
we will want to
moderator.
make sure that the moderator and everybody knows that there is an expectation that this isn't a free ride, that you should make some kind of a donation.
I told them they had to set a price.
Disagree.
I said it for him.
Warren Beatty's in charge of it, I guess.
He came and told me just to go ahead and do it, so I've already set it up, it's done.
It is.
Prime rib?
Huh?
Prime rib?
I didn't set a menu, it's gonna be under $5,000. And whatever they've got in the liquor cabinet's coming this way, it's just on a call basis.
Okay, but yes, there will be lunch at town meeting, and we'll need to make sure that anybody is aware of it, since we've talked about it off and on.
Well, it's very generous of the Townsend Volunteer Fire Department.
There you go, the net metering and the lease for the hospital septic system and the transfer station notices. Again, those are all those leases that we're talking about that need to be warned, or posted for public comment for the long terms. We haven't done any of them.
I'm gonna be doing them right out of the starting gate in March.
Well, part of the issue, we were waiting for the Grace Cottage lease to come back from the attorney. No, it hasn't. Okay, so that one still hasn't come back yet.
Transfer station I've already got, but I need
And
to
the same
get
thing.
certified letters out to abutters.
Same
Okay.
with the net metering agreement. So those are going to have, be one of the first items on the plate for the new board. All right, hazard mitigation plan ratification, that circulated during the off time because there was a deadline that could not wait till this meeting to get that submitted to Wyndham Regional.
Okay.
So I would entertain a motion to ratify the decision to sign and submit the hazard mitigation plan as recommended by the planning commission.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on it? Hearing none, all those in favor of ratifying the
Adoption.
adoption of the hazard mitigation plan signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. Why does that keep coming on?
Just keep turning it on.
I'm not trying to turn it on. All right, time clocks and the cameras.
I don't have anything definitive for you. I do have prices, but I don't have them printed out. The complexity of it is the software, hardware that goes in the closet, goes in the basement, goes wherever it goes. And it's coming to a point of, if we do it at town hall, whether some of these articles that are on the warning with regard to stipending and or eliminating the office of auditor actually come up first. So I've kind of held back on that. The price on a single punch clock is relatively expensive. They're $300 to $350. On a standard punch clock, you can get electronic punch for about the same price. The fingerprint ones are a lot less money because they're driven by a computer in the basement somewhere. So you can pick those up for about $100 or less.
The time clock and the finger printer?
A time clock is just, it's a simplex or an accurate print time clock. It's just a clock, and you stick a card in it, you hit a button, and it punches a time, date and time,
Yeah.
based on the clock. The fingerprint one will, you put your fingerprint on, and automatically it just drives a message to a software system that logs you in, basically.
So it's
That's
$100.
Well, it's $100 for the little reader. Now you need to have a computer, and you need to have the cables, and you need to have the backup drives, and all of that to go with it. The reader isn't that much. The ordinary punch clock just takes a little ribbon that gets replaced every year. And it's good for 10,000 punches, and then you buy paper cards and you stick them in there and your name's on the top. And those are fairly simple. Cameras, surveillance cameras don't really cost much of anything at all. You can buy 4 for $120. Again, it's the cables through the wall into some sort of DVR recorder or into a computer system, and however often that rolls over. So we need a little more technical advice on that. As to whether we're going to contract it out and get some security company to come in and do that, or whether we're going to hire a local electrician to snake wires through the walls, how this is all going to get set up. But the hardware is relatively affordable.
I talked to somebody about time clock, they give me a price about a little over 150.
Yeah, there are things on
This,
the market.
this is just your puncher.
Yep, yep, and you can buy them used. I mean, they're available.
This is new.
Okay, okay.
And, but that guy that I talked to, he said, he didn't think we wanted to get into that fingerprint one.
Why not?
Because too much can go wrong with it unless you get a contract with somebody to maintain it. But I mean, that's just his feeling.
Mhm. And again, we have done this before. I don't want to put it off, for a new board, but it may need to be the.
Well, this is the second board that's dealt with.
Yeah.
Well, it's more than
This
the
goes
second. It's
on,
more than the second board.
We've done it, we've
This
done
is
it.
like 5 boards now. that have-
Yep. Ain't no need of me running my mouth, you know where I stand.
I know where you stand.
Well, the question becomes, the previous board basically instructed Craig to buy them. The punch,
Yeah.
the punch ones. And then the issue that was foremost in everybody's mind, that the difficult employees, I'll say, took care of the issue for us, so that we didn't have to be so concerned about the push. And then we got into the new board, and it's just now rearing its head again. And, you know, it really, we change, we go through a cycle every year as we bring
Yep.
new people in
That's right.
that try to push the boundaries of what is allowable and what is not allowable.
And the hope is that if you're gonna elect people or hire people that are gonna work at taxpayer expense for community good, that they're conscientious enough and mature enough to do a decent job and not cheat the system.
That's good.
Wrong.
But it is every week, and it hasn't abated. Kathy will testify, it is every week that there are issues with payroll. Sometimes small, sometimes large, mostly they're medium. But they are real.
So is this something that we want to go ahead and address? Do we want to leave it for the next group to pick up? What do we want to do? Wait and see what happens with the stipends, which will take the hourly portion out of it, at least for two of the groups. Somebody say something?
I think we need to go with the fingerprint time clocks. I've said that for a long time. And that's where I still stand. I think that when you're doing fingerprint time clocks, you do away with, you can't even read this one. You have no idea what's going on.
Oh, you should have seen it before I brought it up.
Oh, I'm sure. I've seen many of them.
We're
but
not,
you don't
we're not
have
done
a-
talking about this one yet either.
But it just, it's incomprehensible. I think the day of being town-minded, and I hate to say this, but it's like, you know, how many thousands of hours have any of us put in a donated way in this town? But it gets exorbitant, it gets crazy, and I think there has to be some way of
That's the rule. You can have that.
keeping a record of what different departments, how much time they use and how much time is needed. And whether it's auditor or whether it's lister or what. If you want to run for the board of listers, you say, well, you just sit in the office or you have a meeting a couple hours a week or two. But your time records are going to show different. Your time records aren't necessarily just a personal thing, so they show you the amount of time that's involved in running a department. Including select board, as far as that goes. How many hundreds and hundreds I know, I've sat in your chair, and it's hundreds and hundreds of hours that,
A week.
that's right, that just don't, which
Well,
is a step
and the-
beyond of where we began the conversation of a need for time cards.
And the thing with the highway crew time cards is that you do have a breakdown down below of what the 40-hour week consisted of, because you wanted that report. What did you basically do during the course of a Tuesday day?
But that, to
Or if you know with a
me,
time clock, you're not gonna
If you
get.
can't read it, what good does that do you?
number one, and number two, it becomes a farce when it says 4 hours patrolling roads, 4 hours picking up sticks. I mean.
But at least
it's
you have
not-
that. But at least
Yeah,
you
but
have
it's
it. You
not-
can take it with a
it
grain of
isn't.
salt. I know.
It's like a false sense of security.
So if you know how many, I mean, to me, as long as the roads and things are maintained and done appropriately, I don't think you need to, all right, what we usually do in that hour so much, that's the foreman's job. And if the roads aren't getting done, and if I take a ride, or one of the select board member goes for a ride and there's still a stone in the ditch a month later, then you talk to the foreman and say, how come? You know, that kind of thing. And
But when you have 65 culverts replaced and your high priority list from 4 years ago was for 45 of them and only 3 of them got done, you need some sort of,
Well,
you
then-
need some sort of reporting mechanism whereby this is,
then it
yeah,
becomes our responsibility to meet with the foreman or whoever all right? Because they're working for us, we are their boss. And if they're not meeting our expectations, then it's our responsibility to confront that. That's what I think. You know?
Yeah, so we're right next to the same
Right
question.
back to the same thing.
Well, it's money, I don't have a problem, but it's gonna cost considerably more money to have them installed and get them wired in. And then it comes down to, you know, I spent $3,000 on 4 surveillance cameras at the garage, and nobody's looked at them in at least 2 years. I mean, they are there, but, you know, and it depends on whether there are issues, obviously, or not. But there isn't somebody in charge, command and control of actually making use of them.
Yeah, but I don't think we bought them for the idea of bringing it home and watching it on a Saturday night.
Well,
We bought
no, you
for
did
when
it, you
there's
did
a
it for
serious
specific,
problem,
you did it
then
for
we
specific
Go back and see
reasons.
what's up.
We've had some issues in being able to actually read the information that we're trying to find on it as to who's dumping what at a given point in time, so they can see a license number. You put cameras in the garage, that's gonna be different.
So are we going to look into the costs of installing fingerprint cameras? Are we going to look at the mechanicals? Are we going to leave it for somebody else?
And there are some reasons to think about surveillance cameras in town hall, and I know everybody's got them. But we do have meetings here for AA, we do have, you know, there are people that don't necessarily want to be filmed.
Well,
Well, we don't necessarily want to be filmed either.
I know that don't go.
That's Richard's fault, he's gotta earn a living too.
Richard's sleeping, don't wake him. He said nothing on that. Tap my pen a little bit.
He's just trying to make a buck like everybody else.
So what's your pleasure?
I said my budget.
I think I'd go with
Well, then
that.
make a motion. Somebody make a motion, if that's the way you feel.
Get him in ASAP. Get them installed ASAP.
I think one of the things you have to find, if you do decide to go with the more technical,
Technology
no,
is,
technological.
Do you wanna just start with,
advanced.
do you wanna just start with the highway, since this is unresolved down here as to whether.
technology moves so fast, I'm just nostalgic over yesterday.
Okay, but anyway, you know, there will be issues with servers and storage, and we can't even keep the computers running in this building, can we, Joe?
No. Every day there's a problem.
Without adding another layer, and that would be my biggest concern. We don't have anybody overseeing technology in this building at all, and that's just gonna be one more thing that's not gonna work.
Yeah, the first greasy thumb that hits the garage.
Yeah, that too. Somebody make a
Well-
motion.
All right, this is what I'll make a motion, just because you gotta do something. I mean, this has been 10 years. We bought a time clock once. We put it in the town garage. It never got used.
Yeah, got it. It's no longer there. It went with the plow.
It's no longer there, and it went somewhere with the plow. Who got the plow? It just walked away in the middle of the night.
In a
Walked away
snowstorm.
since spring, last spring.
It was there, and just cut feet and walked away. Well,
As Craig and I looked at it, we went back one day today. No longer there.
to begin, I would make a motion that we instruct Craig to purchase a simple card-operated time clock to have installed at the town highway garage, and instruct the highway foreman and employees on using that as soon as possible.
Just the highway garage, not the town hall?
At this point in time, until after town meeting. That's what I would do. At least at the highway garage, they will begin getting used to. No, I
With
would.
the camera. No, I mean, I'm saying you're gonna want that camera inside.
Well,
We have another, that can plug right into the computer we've already got.
You already got a camera, right?
Yeah, we got 3 cameras outside
Yep,
with 4 slots.
Yeah.
We can plug into the extra slot.
that's right, that's my motion.
And just a simple punch card.
Yep, for this point in
Get the
time.
cards too.
We can
Yeah,
update,
cards.
you can update
Yep.
we, you, whoever can update later.
Okay,
That's my motion.
Second.
okay. Any further discussion?
You seem unhappy with that.
No, I think I'm envisioning discussions of, well, why us and why not everybody, and on and on and on and on.
Because number one, they're not elected officials.
We've
The
got-
highway crew is not elected
We've got
officials.
non-elected
They
officials
work,
in this
I
building.
understand that. They work for us.
I don't disagree. But we've got other people that are non-elected officials in this building, and when you start picking and choosing,
We'll work on that next.
Yep.
okay, that's fine.
Work on that.
I said, that's my biggest concern,
Yeah.
is I can hear the
Let 'em
rumbling.
hear.
I'll be happy to record one
I'm sure you will.
Yep.
All right. So,
And we could even get you a time card.
can I have one?
Yes, you can.
Oh, good. You gonna pay me?
It's gonna be a big card.
Okay. So I can find it. That's
time.
fine.
Try
Two
to
cents an hour.
turn it in by June 30th. Do we have a second on motion?
Was there a?
2 cents an hour.
Not even that.
Not even. I know. Believe me, I know.
All right, so all those in favor of purchasing, was a time clock and a camera? Was that, did you?
We already have the camera.
No.
No,
Do
no,
we have a slot
we have
for-
the slot, the cameras aren't $50 to real estate.
So was that, your motion include the camera, oh, sorry. To purchase a punch time clock and a camera for the highway garage, ASAP, I believe this was.
Yep.
Signify by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? And the motion passes. So if you would
Is that?
ASAP that,
So I'm not gonna be able to help on much else for the next couple.
At
gonna take
least,
me 3 or 4
at
days.
least, it's gonna be readable. At least you can't try to decipher, is that a 6
Delegate,
or a
delegate.
1 or, at least,
You won't have the addition problems.
that's true.
the addition
Hopefully
problem.
that
Well, okay,
thing
We can get a
can
total,
add
also-
up.
we can get it to total too, but we don't need to do that.
okay. One thing that we need to do, since we just made the decision to purchase these clocks and install them, while this board that made that decision is sitting here, I think you need to pass the policy that's going to go with it. It won't be officially written at this point in time, but it will be at least recorded in the minutes that they will be used by all employees. I think there needs to be a motion to that effect. At this point in time, all highway employees must submit their time on the punch cards.
Starting,
As soon as they're installed, effective as soon as they're installed.
Well, would we want to put in the Arnold's time too? Is Arnold part of
Arnold
the
has
highway?
access to the garage.
Can you get in there?
Yeah, that's a key.
Okay, so there would be the highway department and Arnold. Okay, so who made that motion? I don't know, but somebody seconded it, whatever it was.
check it, whatever it
Okay.
was.
I don't know how to phrase it.
I asked second. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so all those in favor of making the punch cards for the highway department and for the compact attendant mandatory for submission of time, signify by saying aye. Opposed, abstentions, motion passes. So at least now there's a matter of record that they must be used. We can't have any more walking away, going once. All right, so the next, oh dear Lord. Let's do the gazebo repair first.
Just one second. Just doing my checklist. Oh, you know, let's go with that. That'll be more fun, won't it? I asked for 3, the gazebo, for those who weren't here, don't know. We have spent quite a bit of press on the gazebo after it was hit, and we have discussed the issue with insurance companies. The LCT is helping us with the driver's insurance company. In any case, I requested 3 bids. We got 2. The third bidder is not going to, those came in today. Third bidder is not going to call me up. So we do have 2 bids on the table for gazebo repairs. The building was racked, and they know that. It was moved, turned by the vehicle that struck it. You may want to look at both before you read it, just to see where you wanna go. Anyway, three local contractors, warehouse.
Ow, 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 ow,
Uh-oh,
ow. Paper
uh-oh.
cut,
Okay.
paper cut, workers'
Okay,
comp.
where's, oh, Kyle's not here to
Kyle's
get it.
not here to save me.
Need Band-Aid?
That's
Yeah.
must be. Should be 58.
Okay, so the first one we have is from Whole Shot Construction, which is Andrew McVale. It's an estimate for the gazebo. The building has to be picked up, a new support post needed to be built, and then it needs to be set back down on its original footing. At this point, it's been pushed off the footing by about 4 inches. Then all the trim needs to be fixed and painted. The estimate is for all labor and materials. Wash, scrape, prime, and paint the entire gazebo, so they're gonna do the entire thing over. So it was $3,500 for the repair, and another $2,300 to paint, scrape and paint the whole, for a total of 58.
35 and 23 for the
And
scraping
2,300,
paint?
yeah.
Because I'm gonna split those out. But the insurance will cover the repairs, I'm not sure it'll cover
It's
the
in the
entire
top.
scrape and paint.
Paint.
But some of the painting is absolutely necessary, cosmetic.
Okay, this one is from Ralph Sherman and Son. And it says, work includes, the structure was hit hard enough to knock it off its footings. We proposed to jack it up just enough to then rack it back to its original position. Construct 4 new pressure-treated supporting walls, approximately 3 foot in height, that were damaged in the accident. Reattach and...
Reinforced.
Really? Okay. Reinforce all railings. Replace deck boards damaged in the accident. All trim broken in the accident will be replaced with new to match original design. Removal and disposal of all debris in the
Underneath.
included in the quote. 500 has been included in the price for priming and painting all of the new surfaces. And the total estimate is $3,200 minus the paint allowance due upon completion. What does that mean?
I don't know.
He would subcontract the painting?
Must be. I
To
don't-
his sister?
There's $500 included for
Well, he would, no, sure.
priming and painting, and then totals minus paint allowance.
Another one, 500.
But that's, he's just painting the damaged part, not the whole.
Right.
That's why it's broke up in two different.
Right.
Okay. So the total's 32.
So it's total's 32 with, and then with every whatever
Okay,
that
so
caveat
actually,
means.
you know, you get 2 people to bid, one's 35, one's 32. That's
Right.
not too far off. Plus you got more to do because cosmetically it really does, even after you do the repair work, new paint is gonna look lousy against old paint. So
Yeah.
you really do have to
Yeah.
blend it in and do some extra on it.
The payments to me as follows, total minus the payment allowance due upon completion. So they're talking about payments. So that's the total price, that has nothing to do.
Yeah.
So we've got one at 32 and we've got one at 35.
But that 32 includes painting too?
No.
Just the primer.
Just
just
the damage,
Damaged area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is what all the insurance company's gonna pay for.
No, I realize that. But I said the 32 includes that, well, otherwise, that 35, there's no painting in it.
Well, one of the things that we did receive, and again,
Yeah.
I'm not,
There's another 23 top of
Then all the trim needs to be fixed and painted. This is for labor and materials. And that's for the
That's a different,
Yeah, so I'm assuming they're going to paint and trim
yes. The,
the repair.
The new wood.
We haven't gotten very far, I haven't gotten very far into this between our insurance company and the gentleman who hit it, it's insurance company. They indicated they did not need to send an adjuster up to look for it, that they would cover the liability. I think that they believe that this is not gonna be more than $5,000, whatever, it's not worth it. That having been said, they indicated, and I will have to get it clarified, that they would basically reimburse them.
Reimburse, we all have to pay for it.
And that would seem to be the way this will probably proceed, is that you will make a decision on this. We'll give somebody the go-ahead. I don't think it's gonna happen before the weather warms up substantially anyway. You're not gonna be digging, you're not gonna be digging.
Thursday, Friday's gonna warm up.
It's supposed to, tomorrow they say 50.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
you're not digging posts into the ground
Yeah.
tomorrow.
So, does anyone wanna make a motion on these? Do we wanna look for another bid?
It's not big enough to really, 15 is where you go to 3 bids by mandate.
Yeah.
I wanted more than a couple, just so that we, and there
For
was
the
supposed to be
insurance
3
company,
here.
yeah.
But anyway, they both seem to be in the ballpark, so, same ballpark.
Somebody? It's like pulling teeth around here. Pulling teeth would probably be easier.
Less painful.
It would. Somebody?
To the person pulling.
We got Ralph Sherman and Andrew McPhail.
Well, Ralph's is a lower bid. As I'm looking at them, I was just trying to compare if they're both gonna do the same thing.
Pretty
And
much so.
The other
Pretty
guy,
much.
Do you know anything about the other fellow?
The other one is, actually, I talked to Randy Levitt, so I think Randy is the one who's working for Andrew McDowell. Do you know
But
if he
it's-
is?
No,
No?
Andy lives on Townshend Acres.
Andrew McDowell? Does he work with Randy Levitt?
Just, his language is a little bit.
You can do a rack and back.
Yeah, because I asked.
What it is,
Pretty
is
rack.
He put in,
where the stairs
and
are,
now I've got one from.
the
him.
stairs are somewhat
So I don't know.
on the foundation, but on the other side where he hit it, it slid that whole other side off, so it needs to be.
So maybe
Not the whole thing
maybe
doesn't
the one
have
from
to move.
McVale is unsolicited by me, because I did talk to.
I did.
another- Oh, you
I'm
were?
friendly with him.
Oh, okay,
He asked about it, so I
Yeah,
told him
okay.
when it was to be due.
okay. Then we may be getting another one, but tonight was the deadline, because this was your last meeting.
So whatever you'd like
Well,
to do.
Ralph is the low bidder, and they're both equals to equals, is from my opinion. So I would make a motion that we contract with Ralph Sherman and Son Builders to repair the gazebo, not to exceed $3,200. And I believe that quote, total minus the paint allowance, so it would be 3,200 less 500, and I'm not sure what that paint allowance, what that means.
Well, we'll do not to exceed 32, and we'll find out.
Yes,
Because I honestly think that the town may want to put another 3 or 4 or 5 into it. There are issues with the gazebo.
Yeah.
That pre-existed the accident. And I
Well,
think that when we get to that point, you may say, well, as an additional, as a rider under this, we can only claim so much per, possibly under insurance, but we also want X, Y, Z to happen at the same time.
But he may be figuring on getting paid so he can buy the paint up front.
Could be.
Well,
The
That's
500,
what-
the 500 for the
500.
paint
That
up
could
front.
be, yeah.
I mean, that's
I
what.
don't think so.
There's not a lot
Sounds
in
good like
materials
me.
there. There really isn't much. It's a hollow structure. It's got 4x4
I know,
posts, every
yeah,
6
it's
feet,
not
piece of
much.
plywood, that's it.
So was there a second to that? Kit, you made the motion, was there a second? Merv? All right, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of awarding the contract to Ralph Sherman to repair the gazebo on the common signify by saying aye.
Not to exceed.
Oh,
Not to
excuse me,
exceed-
not
not
to
to
exceed
exceed
$3,200. Signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes. So, this is actually a contract. Do you want me to sign it?
Mike Swamp.
Acceptance of proposal. This one is.
Well, I can photocopy, let me call him, I'll photocopy it, and we can do that later, next Monday night or something, but I'll let him know.
There's the card that goes with it. All right, so that takes care of the gazebo. Is there anything else we're gonna need to talk about before we take on the town report? All right, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
What else do we have to add?
Go ahead.
Correct.
Yes.
And can you get a hold of the power company, this street light before up to the road is out.
Yeah, it is.
Right
The one
before
at
to
the
35.
pizza house or on the island?
Huh?
On the island.
Right up here.
In the triangle, on the
So
island?
you go up 35, you go 30.
Yep, okay, all right.
That's been out right there. I'll tell you, it makes it a heck of a lot easier sometimes when you come up
Dark,
through, you
isn't
can
it?
see if there's a car sitting there.
Yeah, it's dark.
I will give them a call. We are in the middle of maybe getting them replaced with LEDs here.
Yeah, best of luck with that. That was
Well,
over
no,
a year ago.
that's actually in the queue as of Friday again.
How'd that happen?
Well, because we have the memorandum of understanding and we have the energy efficiency commitment and it's somebody eventually, like the Army Corps engineer, wrote a letter, said, what's going on with this? So the power company's saying, well, I don't know, we thought you were dealing with it. And they said, no, I thought you were doing it. So anyway, it's back
It's back in the queue.
it's back in motion.
All right.
And let it down, we'll give them a call.
That would be
So if
nice.
they're gonna get in there and replace it, then I'll just put in some, what color you want.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, town report. I have seen a kind of a mock-up of the town report.
I'm just gonna,
Yeah,
that
let
over
somebody
there.
else see it.
well,
This is the town report?
no,
That
no,
is
no,
the
no.
mock-up.
That's,
We asked to look at it.
a lot of changes have been made since that came out.
Yeah, but we've run out of time.
You think?
The town report at this point in time is at the printer. We don't know what it looks like. We were not allowed the opportunity to proof it. The one thing that I have found in here is, in fact, there are no numbers that relate to the budgetary numbers we're asking for. There's no revenues. There is no comparison budget, in other words, where we finished last year, what kind of surplus we'd be rolling over. There, none of those numbers exist.
Don't surprise you.
An awful lot of the pictures that are in here seem to be of retail businesses in town, to the exclusion of some others, which is not really appropriate either, including the hours that they're open. What else am I? My report is 1.5 pages of run-on sentence, just so you know. Oh, and yeah, and they had to take my spacing out of my report so that they could get that picture in there. That was
Yeah, the
violent.
fire department report got merged and other things happened as well. Yeah.
So there are a lot of issues with this.
The treasurer's report got it, sure.
My biggest concern is we cannot sit on the stage at town meeting and point to a page that says, you know, here are the figures. This is what is to be raised in taxes. It's not there. So we're going to have to reconstruct all of that for town meeting. That old royal
Yes.
we.
You, that means the treasurer and the chair. Because I gotta work on time machines.
Did you hear anything about the chair? I didn't hear anything about the chair. Did you hear anything about the
I
chair?
didn't hear a thing about a chair.
Anyway.
I'm gonna be working on the Wayback Machine.
We're going to have to put flip charts together for town meeting. That's the only way we're going to be able to actually get the information out. The biggest thing that we don't know at this point in time is if the school warning made it in there. They were so confused by what they were doing that they've got the Leland and Gray warning in there. I had them remove that,
For January 28th.
the Leland Gray warning, but they never put the elementary school warning in. Our warning is in there, so we're covered. We may be inserting the school
Yeah, but-
warning.
How many days is that gonna be out?
10 days, as long as it's in people's hand by Friday, 10 days out. They have to be 10 days in advance.
Yeah, but you don't know if the warning's right or not.
Our warning is,
Wyndham County Sheriff didn't provide nothing.
exactly.
Put a
Exactly.
whole page in there.
Casella provided some.
Yeah, Casella and Waste Management has them added in there.
They had nothing to do with them.
I don't
Where did
think-
this stuff come out? I mean, where did he get the, whatever.
That's what the fuck came
Well, I
from.
understand that there's some,
So, anyway, we just, again, saw this midweek, and some discussions were had while they were here, but they weren't here all week. Corrections supposedly are being made. It is at the printer right now. And hopefully we're gonna see it. I'm hoping to see a copy tomorrow. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm hoping to see a copy tomorrow. But if they need to be in the mail and basically in delivery by Friday, then they really do need to be picked up Wednesday or Thursday, and there's a lot to putting labels on them and getting them over there all. There's a long way to go yet.
Where's upside down with the new one? Only yesterday.
No,
We
so,
sell it, something.
right,
Yeah.
that's waste
Hello,
management.
At Rutland.
Yeah, Route 4.
See,
Oh, I know where they are. They owe me $1.91.
better go get
They
it.
sent me a credit slip. I thought it was a bill, so I sent them a check. No, they owe me.
But, you know, I really don't know where to go. I don't know what to do.
I don't either. I mean, the problem is it becomes a legal document and it's nowhere near.
It's a legal historic document. The problem is that you had a couple people that had no experience in doing it, that didn't ask for any help from anyone else, which is unfortunate. I mean, there were 5 auditors last year that basically worked on the report. There are people around that have been doing this for more than 10 years.
Yep.
I'm here every day. I've done 10 of them with other people, more or less, or at least overseen them. I'm here to answer questions, and I haven't been asked anything.
But at town meeting, we do not have to accept the auditor's thing.
Well, no, and
Well, the auditor's report is only the paragraph that's in there,
Yeah,
but
then the
that's, but that
the town-
becomes,
Town report.
right, but that becomes, you don't accept the town report anyway. At town meeting, we'll have probably a whiteboard or a big screen with a projector on it, or we'll have handouts, one of the two. But you're gonna have to work off your own pages, because I don't know that you can use
That
this.
ain't within a ring roll of tales of.
Well, we're gonna see.
Good save, Irv.
what did he say?
Not with a windrow of tails.
Anyway, hopefully it's gonna be wonderful, and we should know pretty quick, next day or so. And
just makes us look
everybody
pretty
will know.
smart.
It's gonna make us look like fools.
Us?
No, I don't think
Not
so.
me.
I do.
What do you mean you don't think so? There's spelling mistakes in it, I mean, look at the
we're
pictures.
not-
Look at the pictures, it's the 21st century. We got pictures, looks like you're looking
Yeah,
through a
but the thing is,
freaking
this-
100 feet of water or something.
This was done by the auditors. That's all, one more reason that we'll have to
Absolutely.
nail the copy.
But
what I'm
at the
saying.
same time, we still have to have the ability to explain the numbers that we put into our
Oh,
warning.
oh, yeah.
And we don't have any of that.
Not
It's
in
not
mine.
documented
No.
there. So I don't know how we can possibly stand up at town meeting and say, yeah, they messed up.
Well, you can to some degree, because one of the auditors has only been here since November. The other basically wrote the auditor's report. And if you read the auditor's report, I think you'll find that it's not as fleshed out as it might be. He's blaming the bookkeepers for the whole problem, not the fact that the auditors didn't show up to do the job. And that is a real,
Oh, and just FYI, just get this out in the open.
okay.
Just FYI. On, if it comes through in the town report, well, first of all, if my report comes through looking like that tomorrow, with no spaces, no punctuation, they will not be in the town report, because I will personally be up here ripping them out. I am not that illiterate. Okay, that's number one. Number two, on one of these pages,
I will sit on the stage and say, Kathy, did you really write this?
Oh, you are coming?
Well, if I show up.
where the devil is the salary piece?
Oh, look at the index on the front cover.
Yet the index doesn't go that far.
There are no page numbers, Kathy.
Yeah, but at least gives you the sequence. But there's a,
Right,
You
right
s-
there.
is that, no?
No, it's on the right-hand page.
No, I'm looking for the one that you asked me about earlier.
The salaries
The salaries.
where I owe so much money?
Yeah, well, you owe us all the money.
Yeah.
took the 20 grand.
36.5.
Salaries and wages.
Okay. Just so you know this, first of all, he's got wages in italics are outstanding claims due. Okay, so Craig owes us 32.5.
Hey,
Donna Trumbull owes us
Let me just give you a
1,012.
check.
But over here,
What's Joe Dana owing us?
he got his zeroed out.
no, he's good. But just so you know, we owe, that's the money that we chose not to pay.
Oh, okay.
So I have a feeling it's going to come back at town meeting,
Mm-hmm.
because he made a point out of,
It's not highlighted.
it's italics. Craig missed that one, but yes, that was
Yeah,
gonna
want something on that pay order tonight about that?
no, that was just the 2 hours in October.
Well, what can I say? It's just like,
Keep flipping through, there's a couple of them
So-
that are pretty comical.
Anyway, there's a lot of things in here that we're going to have to put together explanations of, separate from the town
But
report.
see, this 2015.
Yeah? That would be right.
We
That-
fiscal 16?
Yeah, but that would be wages for last
That's
calendar
July.
year. Remember that this actually shows calendar year, not fiscal year. So,
Yeah, but 15 is the one that,
No, that's not right.
what?
yeah, end of June was 15. Yeah, the end of June of 15 was the year
15 and
15.
16, right?
Right,
The fiscal year 15 and 16.
yeah, now we're on 16, right now.
That's right.
So June, but remember that the salary, the wages, it does not follow the town's fiscal year. It follows the W-2s on the calendar year.
In January to December.
Right. So it's off sync.
Yeah, because
Go through a couple other ones here, yeah.
Yeah, well, W-2s, but it's not, the salary does not have to follow the calendar year.
No, but I think they've just done it just to make it easy for all the different years.
But it
They
shouldn't
haven't-
be.
they
Yeah,
haven't
it shouldn't
been-
be.
no, it shouldn't be, because see, Irv's isn't recorded in there, and mine's not recorded in there. In the town
But you
report.
took it,
You
So-
didn't get it, you weren't there last year, June 30th.
But
Yeah, so
in the
we're
fiscal year,
Oh.
if it were fiscal year, I was. And if you're sitting up there in the town, that money has already been allocated for the fiscal year.
But we haven't finished the fiscal
That's
year.
That's just part of it.
We haven't finished
I
fiscal year.
understand that, but you've also already paid me for the fiscal.
You'll be in for
year.
next year though, but yeah.
Yeah, but you won't be until next year.
Right. You would show on the
You
wage
didn't
year for
get-
next
You got
year.
paid after the 1st of July, so you won't come in until the next year's town report.
So you're working for nothing.
There you go.
But
You're
it's all
making
allowed.
less than I am.
But it's all allowed until
A
you look
lot
at
less
that.
than you are. And you're putting in more hours. Look at the overtime you're getting.
I know, pretty cool.
Oh, was that double time on holiday?
Today's a holiday.
Double
too.
time and a half?
Boy, man. So I don't know what all you want to do, what kind of plan we might want to, we're going to have more than a dry run next week at the pre-town meeting,
Oh,
which is next week.
With the school board.
Well, the school board's not in there, so you gotta find out if the school board's gonna
yeah,
have their own.
they're gonna have to put theirs in the paper if it's not in there.
Well, we can always do an insert into the town report as well. Because they've signed their warning. The warning is out. It's been posted.
I realize that.
So, but we
if-
can-
if the town report doesn't get around the way they're going,
Well, we'll see.
Then ours gonna have to go as well.
we may have to put ours in the paper.
It should be in there. By Friday night, I had talked to one of the auditors and let them know that it absolutely had to be, or it had to be printed and stuffed in there, and that means 1,000 photocopies on the front machine. But that one way or the other, it had to be, and I haven't heard back. It's been 3 days, I haven't heard back. I came down, I got a copy of the school warning, I put it in there with the computer in their box, and it's still in there. So we'll see. We'll see. We're gonna hopefully have a preprint available tomorrow. I'll go pick it up down.
And then we need to look and see what corrections and or additions that we need to make so that we have the numbers. And I think that we need to do them on a handout, that's what I think.
Well, very
Because you
possible.
don't wanna stuff them into it.
No, we
But
don't.
we weren't going to stuff them. You know, we were either gonna do a handout or actually have Craig on the stage with the board flipping them over so that we can explain them.
I'd rather have a handout myself.
Kathy actually wasn't gonna let.
We're gonna take lots of time
Anyway.
if you could explain them if you want to flip over, but if the person's got them right in the hand, they can understand.
Well,
Do both, it don't matter, I mean.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but I do know that you're talking about a real short window of time to
To
pull this
rewrite.
together.
Oh, yeah, I realize that.
And you're talking about Craig and I working the next
So they're
80
going for
hours.
overtime.
They're
I mean, it's
evidently.
just like
But the thing is,
time and a half.
Open,
That's why we have a treasurer.
please
That's
open,
all.
Don't point at me.
please open the safe so I can
That's-
get my
that's
actual
what-
letter.
well, that's what irritates me, because they've had since last July.
Yeah, well, we can
To
beat
work
that
on
one to
the
death.
We'll discuss that
That's
at town
different.
meeting.
Yeah, no, but I say, they've had that amount of time and
First we need.
nothing has happened.
First, we need to see what we've got, and we need to make an assessment of what we got, and we gotta figure out a game plan on what we have to do. It's
So we don't know what we have to do.
No, but we have 2 weeks to do it, and we have a dry run. Next Monday night is pre-town meeting, everybody be here. And then we'll have emergency meetings on Tuesday,
Tuesday,
Wednesday,
Wednesday,
Thursday.
Thursday, or Friday.
You might have to. You do.
I mean, you just all need to be aware of the fact that we don't know what to expect. We asked, after we made some very obvious corrections to that document that you just looked at, we asked if we were going to get to see a mock-up before it actually went to print.
There's no time.
And we were told, number one, there was no time, but we were also told that all the corrections were made. So we don't know what that means. Because we didn't correct any numbers, as I recall, did we? I didn't get into any numbers. I didn't have
I
time
got
to look at
I got
numbers.
into one, but there are many more, and again, I did not go through this with a comb, because I know that it was a work in progress even as we left it behind, as you left it behind.
Well, let's wait a minute and see
And
it.
I decided if I'm gonna read
So
this,
do you want to, my point is, do you want to try, after we get a copy in our hands, do we want to try to meet sometime the latter part of this week?
you're gonna know within a few hours of getting your copy as to whether we're gonna make phone calls to get people together.
Well, that's what I'm just wondering, how available is everybody to have an emergency meeting?
Yeah, I'll be available.
I can come up in the afternoon, but no, I
That
don't know
afternoon,
about
I'll
that this
need
week.
you.
When are we getting these?
It was supposedly tomorrow.
Well, I'm hoping tomorrow. The weather's lousy for driving over, and I'm not even,
So they
because
go Wednesday,
these,
Thursday,
these
Friday.
belong to the auditors. Patrick's gonna go pick them up in a Honda. But I've talked to the gentleman who's printing them, and I said, I need half a dozen copies ASAP, first print run, I don't care if they got covers on them or not, I need them. And he said he'd call me as soon as basically the ink is dry. But he said it was gonna take a couple of days so they could print them out, and I said, you don't have a couple of days. I mean, they really need to be picking them up tomorrow. There's a lot of stickers to put it, there's a lot of work to do to get them in the mail. That said, I'm gonna try to get copies tomorrow, and even if it's just a blind run to West Chesterfield and back. I'm gonna try to get copies for everybody tomorrow, and if I do, then I will leave them in your door, or I'll give you a call.
Well, punch out before you leave.
I'll punch somebody out before I leave. Be punching somebody when I get back, too. I'm sure, because I'll be reading,
But-
drive home in the car on this
I can,
Is that, is it working days or just days?
I think it's just 10 days. I think it's 10 days before the town meeting. It has to be in the hands of the voters. That's the way the law reads. You've got it.
No, 'cause some things are working days and some are just plain
I
days.
think it's just straight 10 days. I think the
What if you
dead,
only work a half a day?
I think
Counts
the,
for anything?
So you gotta be around the house there.
what if you don't work at all? What if you're retired?
They don't say business days, I'm sure they just say days.
I believe it just gives the day. February,
Look at the 19th or the 20th or something. Last day for them.
okay, the legislative body must post a warning at least 10 days before the public information, okay, yeah. No, that's not the 19th.
I did give you copies of the warning, so that is your document that I just gave you 3 anyway. to sort of look over and memorize.
There it is. At least 10 days before town meeting warning must be published in an annual town report by this date unless town has voted to provide notice of availability to avoid publishing warning in the newspaper. That is the 20th, which is Saturday, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to be in their hands by Saturday.
Wow. Not really, it's gotta be by Friday.
Well, yeah, but they have to be in their hands.
No, but I said they're gonna be in their hands by Friday because you can't count town meeting day.
No, that this is this year's. It says it must be on the 20th, because this is a leap year.
We're going to Pennsylvania Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
What is the plan? I can't remember.
So see, the 20th would be the first day. But the Secretary of State says it must be in their hands on the 20th. The Secretary of State. I'm gonna say something much worse than that in a minute.
No, camera stuff.
So, yes, that's where we are. So I don't know, again, what your kind of availability you all have. But I'm guessing we're going to have a strategy session of some kind this week.
If you get those tomorrow, this is what I can do. We can sit tomorrow night and go through it and see what we need to have to.
Oh, well, you
Kathy's gonna be having fun somewhere else across town,
Yeah,
maybe.
I can't do it tomorrow night, but I'm-
We'll find out. We'll work something out. We're gonna look at them, we'll walk them through them, we'll see what we need to do. And again, it's, you set a budget based on the 3 pages that's on that board under that first page, and that's still there, so we can morph something together. We'll have,
You look like a 6th grade class up there with your
well, no, what it's gonna
Board out.
look, what it's gonna look like is the board is gonna have to say, ignore this. And, I mean, you can read all the fluffy pieces if you want, but ignore the germane parts of this. You have a warning in here, and then you got all these numbers, and frankly, we don't owe $14,000 on a compactor for the next 5 years. I mean, we didn't borrow $40,000 for a 2014 DT, whatever the hell that is. I mean, there's some issues with,
Where did
with
you
some-
get the numbers for that?
nobody knows. So anyway,
It is legal for medicinal use.
the one thing that is in the auditor's report, and I all don't have it, but it's basically, there was a recommendation to the select board, just for your own information,
Good job.
that we have universal timesheets for all the town employees, this is their recommendation, that we post hours of all the town employees. So I don't know how we're supposed to do that, but please post your hours from here on out, and streamline the purchase order system within each town department. So, just,
I don't know when those recommendations are coming to the board, but they've yet to arrive, but
Yeah,
they
it
are
says-
in print.
it says, you know, we have made, past tense, a number of recommendations to the select board for tracing
Well,
responsibility.
it's really the select board's fault.
Yeah, we did it.
Well, they certainly won't let me get there.
Okay, so with that being
You two
said,
should buddy up and run again for a
No,
minute.
they certainly wouldn't elect me after the mess I made of this year. Why even bother?
anyway. Again, there's pre-town meeting is February 22nd at 6 PM here.
Thank you. I still haven't heard from our moderator.
Well, sure, we may as well go for broke, not have a moderator either. It'd make it a real fun day. And town meeting then is the week after, March 1st.
And the town clerk will not be at town meeting. Just saying.
Why is that?
She's gonna be down here doing
Oh, I
voting.
think she's going upstairs and Ellen Lemaire's coming down here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought Bill Dagnall was gonna be down here.
Well, I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
That's gonna slow down the count, because everything's going to pick it up.
Woo-hoo, aren't we excited? Anyway, if there's no other business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:12.
So, move.
The second,
Second.
the meeting is adjourned by consent.
Well,